Okay, hello. This is Ryan Ahmed with you. This is lesson 36 in TCL/TK, and this is about how to add a readily made and to use calendar. Now, what we have is this code here about the calendar, but first I will show you what this code is all about and what's doing before I explain the code. Now, I have here something called the calendar. This is our calendar. Okay, so this, whatever I select, okay, it will show me the parts of the date that I've selected. Okay, whenever I click on the calendar, it will give me the current date. Now, the current date, once it's selected, it will go to an entry over here and it will write it for me. Okay, and also example put here as on the 29th, so I can select the date also by showing a different window having the calendar, so I can pop up a window with a calendar, and then when I select one it will change also. Okay, now so to get the calendar you should have had tklib in Debian installed. The package named tklib has to be installed. In ActiveTCL, of course, you should have it after you did the tcup update. Okay, like in tcup update here. Okay, and as I said, like you do apt-get install, of course, as root, as administrator. He's not administrator, so you do sudo okay install tklib. Okay, and it gets installed, you'll get the calendar installed. Okay, now you have to understand, if you are using Debian, you should go for first su, put the administrator password, then you can do the next command after the semicolon. Okay, so there's no need to go to root here. Now let's start reading. So the package required widget calendar is the one that calls for us the definition of the calendar widget. Okay, but currently at this line there is no calendar. That's just like a definition telling you get the library that contains all the functions related to the calendar widget. That's it. Now here I have a procedure that will set the entry with a date. Okay, now before I explain the set entry procedure or function, I must go first to how to define the widget, the calendar widget, and we start with widget calendar here, and then I named it as a test. You can call it whatever, but this one, because I have a dot here, this means this calendar is occupying the root window, the wish window. Okay, which is the wish, normal wish, like this one, the empty one. Now I set a command named set entry, which is the procedure above, okay, on the top here. So whenever I click anywhere on the calendar, it will call the set entry, but you should notice that there is an additional hidden parameter named date. Okay, so in any time you want to use the calendar, please don't forget to add the date parameter. Now This is how I pack it. I just put it on the root window, and then I add a new entry .end on the root window, and then I have a text variable which is text var. So the text var, whenever it's a global variable for the entry, so whenever I change the text, the variable name text var, okay, inside the, for example, inside the set entry procedure, it will automatically change for me the contents of the entry. So it will change this here. Okay, so let's say, for example, I selected one. Let's bypass the those are part of the procedure set entry, but see, it changes directly the date here. If I select, for example, this one, the 4th, so it changes directly the 4th. Good. Now I have here another entry called proc for the button. So when I select the button, it will pop up the this button, I mean select date. It will pop up the window with only a calendar here, okay, like this one, and it will set the date here. So if I select, for example, here, see, they change here automatically. Now, so this is the button which I pack later here. I pack it in this line, but which means I put it on the root window because I am setting the button on the root window using the dot. Of course, you should have known the how the path works. However, here is the command of the button. So first of all, I make a top level window .top, so it will open a new window when I select it. So there's a new window, but you have to imagine at this stage that there is no calendar. Now, of course, I set it not resizable, the top window, so I cannot, like, for example, resize it something similar to here, extend it somewhere like this. Okay, and then I do a widget calendar .top.cal. So this is where I set, or where I make the new calendar made by the button to take a place inside the top level window. Now this is the command for but. So whatever, like I told you, I select from the top level window, it will change the date. So see, calendar command for but, it will call for but, we'll go back to it, but now I'm just packing the calendar at the end after defining the calendar in the top level window. So when I call the for but, it will go for but. Of course, as I told you, or like I told you, there is a hidden parameter here. It's the date, it's the selected date, so the widget automatically will send the date through this parameter once you click on it. So I have .end delete, and 0 means like clear the entry of the .end, you know, .end as we said, and here it's the here it's definition. Okay, it's saved and set on the main root window here. Okay, so when I click the calendar of the top level, so it will call .end, the entry .end, and it will clear the entry .end, and then the end will insert the top calendar get all. Why? Because the calendar itself has a subcommand named get, and all means get all parts of the date, which is the day and the month and the year, of course. So whenever I want to have a calendar, I must no, not I must. I can have not just get all. I can have, for example, get month, or get day, or get year. Much like what I have here in the set entry procedure. That's part of the dot test calendar that's set on the root window here. Okay, so whenever I click, I can do whatever now, because on clicking you run the command or the procedure set entry, so it will take the date. So of course I'm using just the text var just to edit the entry dot int, the entry dot int, which is this one. Always I have to remind you, because you don't have to be lost. And for example, I want the whole date, so what I did is just use a TK message box, okay, and it will print the date for me. Okay, so here just the date, it's not, by the way, just to remind you, this is not interpreted as a variable, because I have escaped the dollar sign with the backslash, but I am printing it here. So what I'm saying is that I'm trying to show you that the date, this is the date, the whole date. This is how you grab the whole date. So if I first, for example, not this one, this is the top level one, I don't need it. So I'm talking about this bottom level one, the root one. So I've selected one date, so this is what I get. See, just match it. So the default date selection is date which points to days. So this is of course when the calendar just runs, it points to the current date. Okay, it takes it from the computer clock. So the default date selection is dollar date. So the dollar date, which I told you is it's the parameter date, the argument date, and then I'm printing it here, dollar date. So you've got the whole date, which points to the day's date. Now this is written in this format: the month, the day, or the date, the day, and then the year. So again, the month, the day, the year, the American way. Now, this is how I just, without so much work to do, there are functions that directly can take the parts of the day and the date, of the parts of the date, the year, the day, the month. So what I say is that I have dot test, which is the root one here. I'm taking the day from it, so I say get day. Similarly, and I'm printing on every part the day and the month and the year. Okay, same, and all, as you see here, and we spoken about it. Now the functions again, so we have dot test get day to get the day, dot test get month, okay, and dot test get year. Okay, I'm just, again, dot test is not a special thing, it's just the name of the calendar that I've created here, which is the root, the calendar at the root window. Okay, and every time, see, I'm printing it, it's printing its parts. So this is the date, this is just the day, which is the 9, and this is the day, I mean the month, and this is the year, and this is all the parts of the day. Okay, so this is all about the calendar. So easy, so nice. For example, you can use it, for example, with making a booking system for your flights, for your trips, you know, from day to day. You want to go in day, last day, maybe you want to do something like booking for a hotel room for a couple of days. You just set the dates that are, or the days in the month that you want them for leasing or renting a room in a hotel. So that's all. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and thanks.